Regis Philbin, big fan of him. He said, I'm involved in the stock market, which is fun and sometimes very painful. Unfortunately, Regis passed away recently. I think that sums up the stock market more than anything in the world, right? When it's making new highs, everybody's happy. There's not a care in the world. And then boom, you get a 20% bear market. You get a 10% correction, whatever it is. And then you start feeling like, oh my goodness, my statement, my money, losing money here. That's not fun. We're connected to our money, unlike just about anything we're connected to. Remember the Pavlov's dogs? You ring that little bell, the dog starts slobbering. That was a study. There was a horrible flood in Leningrad, I think in 1924 or 23. And tragically, a lot of the dogs died during this horrible flood. Some of them lived. They had to swim to safety. They lived. After the flood, everything calmed down. Pavlov started his studies once again. You know what happened? He rang the bell. The dogs did not slobber. They forgot what they were supposed to do because it was stressful. Guys, in times of stress, we make the worst decisions possible. I could tell you that stocks usually go up every 10 years. Stocks usually go up every 20 years, 30 years. In the midst of March 2020, if you didn't need that money for a couple decades, you might not have believed me because you just see it going down and we make bad decisions. That's why it's so important. But Brandon was just saying to have a plan in place, to leverage, Kennedy and to leverage Brandon and your financial advisor to make sure you got a plan for when the bad times happen. You don't make a bad decision, and it's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's the way our brains are wired, and Pavlov's dog showed that 100 years ago, and it's the truth. I can't tell you how many people I talked to, not just at LPL, personally. Everybody knows, oh, he's a stock market guy. I can't tell you how many people reach out to me in March, and I'm selling. I'm just like, listen, here's what I'm doing. I upgraded up my 401k, like I was trying to put more money in. I had no idea if the stock market is going to bottom up to 20%, 30%. But if you have a long enough horizon and that plan in place, then that's what that's the benefits of what we're doing today, right? Just the fact that Brandon and the team reached out to me and had me here, that says a lot. All right, it shows they care, yes, but they're trying to find different ways to communicate and show what's going on out there. Because here's the truth: nobody really knows what's going to happen. I mean, if we did, we'd own an island, right? I mean, I wouldn't be here right now. But we've got a 30-person research team that managed almost $60 billion. We've got a really, really good track record. We were the only broker-dealer in the United States that upgraded our view on equities the last week of March 2020. Just so you remember, that was in the midst of the crisis. The Fed came out. We'll talk about the Fed and all the geeky stuff soon enough. The Fed came out and said they're backstopping everything. We upgraded our view on equities. We added equity risk in the depths of the crisis last year. It was the most uncomfortable call I've ever had to make in my career. But looking back at the money that we run, we see how we're doing versus our peers. People like JP Morgan, Insured, Cougar, all these companies you've probably heard of that manage a lot of money, Citigroup, all of them. We see how we're doing versus them. And little old LPL, although we're a pretty big company, our 30-person research team, though, has much better track record the last 1, 3, and 5 years than any of these big institutions. And I think it's proof that you don't need to have a big research department. You just need to have the right research department. And we're really, really proud of that. So